Alright everybody, game number 1, Virtus Pro versus Evil Murkies. We're in the round of 32 right now at the second qualifier for the European Regional, the first regional that is. And on Cursed Hollow, it looks like the Murkies are going to try and get rid of Falstad. For, very good reason. But Li Ming is actually a hero that Virtus Pro banned out in the earlier rounds already. So with the Li Ming ban, it would mean that the Murkies are going to try and lock Falstad down for themselves most likely. There's currently a couple of heroes that are quite contested at the beginning. Usually Zul is early picked. Virtus Pro, they like the hero. Sefkasha plays him a lot. We're having Falstad, of course, on Cursed Hollow, incredibly strong. Oftentimes we're seeing early Thralls still. Zagara is still highly recognized. Muradin is already all the way up there. And Virtus Pro, apparently, when they don't get the chance to go into Zul themselves, want to make sure that the Murkies don't have a chance to pick him. So it's interesting to see them actually ban out Zul over Falstad. So, the Murkies with the Greymane. Okay, so that basically means that they don't really respect Falstad as a potential pick for Virtus Pro now, or they at least don't want to play with him. It's kind of interesting to note because the Murkies had a free win in the first round and could actually look at the games that were played before by Virtus Pro. Against a bit of a weaker opponent, granted, but still Virtus Pro favoring Zul and Falstad quite highly during the draft whenever they got a chance to go for them. Sonya Zul was oftentimes their opening, and they still go into the Sonya. Now, of course, the question, do they take Falstad, or do they instead maybe even prioritize a hero like Muradin, which, of course, combos well with Sonya, which they could go for early on. But personally, I would say letting Falstad go here would be a bit crazy, and yes, Virtus Pro, they lock down Falstad. So we have the Bird, and we have Sonya locked down for them. The Evil Murkies have now the first shot at the front line, so they can go into a Muradin if they want to play him here. The one advantage that you have with the Johanna playing over Muradin is that you of course get good access to just like cancelling any kind of like tribute channel. Thrall, as we said before, is very powerful. I was a bit surprised to see him not in the earlier rounds here, but against Sonya he's always a good choice. He has the Sundering as well, which is of course great. And Thrall is one of those safe picks. You don't make any mistakes going into a Thrall. Like, he's always good to have at the front line if you get into a solo tank in particular. You can play him at this case now with any kind of frontliner, but Evil Murkies are more or less saying, hey, with all of them still available, with ETC around, with Johanna around, and with also like Muradin around, we want to lock down our support first, and we're going to go into the Orc Brothers. So we have Rhaegar and we have Green Jesus, or Green Moses, splitting with the Sundering, the opponent's army. And for Virtus Pro, they could, for example, now say, hey, let's get rid of ETC here. I mean, this is really one of those things where you have to look a bit at what the Murkies are playing. The Murkies are playing with a Thrall for the Sundering setup, and an ETC can capitalize on that. So it's not really too much of a surprise to see Virtus Pro thinking about that ban now. They themselves will most likely go into Muradin, but then would still leave Johanna for the Evil Murkies. But they are a bit afraid of that wombo combo potential that could just come into play with the Murkies running a potential ETC on top of that Thrall, and there's good reason for that. Of course, ETC is maybe not really that hit point heavy as a Johanna and a bit easier to kill, but if he gets a good mosh pit off, then you are in trouble, and you know that too. Falstad, on the other hand, has of course the option to gust ETC away, so that's something that which is probably why they are currently waiting with that lockdown, because they're just saying, guys, we have a couple of interrupts already, we can play against ETC. If we are not playing like monkeys, we shouldn't really end up in that mosh pit, but they decide to play it safe. So in this case, they go for the safe option, they go for an ETC ban, which is by no means a bad choice, and the Murkies are banning out a Charism, which makes sense considering that Virtus Pro has actually shown a bit of an affinity to Charism. Rhaegar is already taken, so Virtus Pro has now two choices. They can either go into an Uther as their support, or they can just simply say, hey, we have a Sonya, we're going to go into a Tacita, we take Leeching Plasma, and then we're going to take maybe a Tyrande. They are very likely, as I said before, to go into a Muradin, so you could go Tacita Tyrande here. And if they do, they would still have damage, they would have sustain, they have also help for Sonya, and they have even another interrupt against the Cursed Hollow's tribute channels. So a Tyrande here would make sense. You go a bit, of course, into a wombo potential. You want to get stun into stun, and Sonya can capitalize on that with the damage that she dishes out. So there's a few options here for Virtus Pro right now. You could also go into that Uther. Back in the day, a few months back, Sonya with the Divine Shield was one of those things that everybody was afraid of, but I like that Tacita pick, and now on the last pick they can actually adjust to what the Murkies do. They can still go into that Tyrande that I just said and play Tacita Tyrande as a double support, but they could also just react to anything. If they, for example, realize now at some point, hey, we need a bit more damage, then it's very likely that they're just going to lock down their Lunara. at least they could. I mean, we have Falstad that was played also earlier, I think, by Neon a couple of times. He also plays Lunara, but Zul, that was played by Sefkaja, has been taken away, and Sefkaja is also like really good on those range assassins, so he could go into one. The Murkies with the Johanna, that pick doesn't surprise too much after ETC was banned out. We have seen in the past Diablo quite often with the Thrall combo, but that particular comp has fallen off quite a bit. But a Sundering into an Apocalypse is of course still something that is quite dangerous, but Diablo is not really a tank that is regarded highly in the European meta. In any meta, to be honest with you. I mean, occasionally, of course, you see him end up in a draft, but it's very rare, so he's by no means one of those meta characters at this point. The Evil Murkies, they could need a bit more range damage. But they want to pick Tyrande away. Okay, that would be nice as well. They know that one of the risks here is Virtus.pro going to Tyrande. The thing is, I just don't see it synergizing too much with them. Well, to be honest, I mean, Rega Tyrande is fine. It's something that my Insanity showed at the regional finals in Katowice, and it would work for them. Personally, I think I would have preferred a bit more damage, but that actually works for them quite nicely. They get the annoying hero that can cancel the channels. Virtus.pro is now in a situation where they have to adjust to this. They could still go into a double support. I mean, if you still want to play double support, you could play Brightwing here. So Tassadar Brightwing is not unheard of. We've seen that a couple of times. It's not the most popular comp, but it's definitely been around. And it is an option for them. I would also give them a Polymorph, of course. And yeah, they're looking at it right now. Polymorph against the Greymane that jumps in, or against the Thrall wouldn't be too bad. You get vision on the map as well. Falstad can fly anywhere on the map. Back in the day, like in the early alpha and beta, we actually had Falstad and Brightwing together showing up so often because you got the double bribe and then you just simply bribed anything on the map. So that was pretty cool as well. Game number 1 coming up now, ladies and gentlemen. Virtus.pro going up against the Evil Murkies on Cursed Hollow. Game number 1, ladies and gentlemen, is starting up. Cursed Hollow is the map, and we have the Evil Murkies playing against Virtus.pro. Currently on the map, as you see to the left side in blue, we are actually looking at the team from France. It is the Evil Murkies, and while they are playing here with Q on Rega, we're having Danatan on Greymane, a former Navi player, Tank for the win on Thrall, Arcane on Tyrande, and TikTok is playing Johanna. To the right side of the map, we are seeing Sefkaja for Virtus.pro on Brightwing, a double support for them as well, with Remaballer on Muradin, Leo from Poland on Tassadar, and Power of Dream is playing Sonya with Falstad, played by Neon. In our first game, we already have on Falstad, by the way, an auto attack build. So he goes into Season Marksman on level 1. We're going to see Power Throw and then also Secret Weapon. So a bit of an old school style. Not really old school, but it's like one of the two builds that is currently quite popular on Falstad. I mean, the Gathering Storm build after the last patch has become a bit more popular because Blizzard increased the stacking damage that you get for each hero that you hit. Doubled them, more or less. Like, you get 2 stacks now. And that means that with one single hammer, if you actually hit the target twice, one on the way in and one on the way out, you get 4 extra damage. And that can result in a ton of extra damage then in the later stage of the game. It especially is quite important if you are looking at Falstad as a hero that can add, of course, a lot of damage during the fights, but is also a hero that has incredible wave clear. So, especially in the later stage of the game when you have like 100 plus stacks on the Gathering Storm, you can easily burst down a wave with one single ability. And that, of course, is quite nice, especially if you are after level 20 in a situation where you can use your Epic Mount and you just like zip all over the map and take those down. That being said, the teams are looking to destroy a few towers early on, and we already have down to the bot lane, both of them eliminated. At the top, as you can see, we're seeing the Evil Murkies doing more or less the same thing, but they are a bit slower here. Had sweet trouble to go through this. Brightwing by now also dishes out a lot more damage than in previous patches. We're having on level 1 Warpaint taken. We're seeing for Greymane the Wolf Heart, again the Colossal Totem. Of course the Owl build for Tyrande, trying to make sure that she can also interrupt. But for Tyrande there's 2 reasons why you would go into the Owl build. First of all, it's one of the builds that allows you to go for a lot of damage because it can take After Empower and Pierce on level 4 on 16 Ranger. So it allows you to get good damage out. But the more important part is that you are really trying to get that massive cooldown reduction, and that's where Empower and Pierce come into play. With Empower, every single time the Owl hits a hero, you reduce your abilities, and that also includes the heroic ability in cooldown. And Pierce allows you to hit more than 1 target, so that's already absolutely excellent. And another reason why you would go for that is also that it helps you to just interrupt channels on Tribute, so you can delay things. And not only that, you also get really vision on the map itself, because you have an opportunity to just like send that Owl cross map to see if your opponent is, for example, taking a boss. Remabola is really far out here with his defense, but it's no problem. He has that Dwarf Toss still up. And that's, of course, always the Murden trump card, so to say. We have the first Tribute now up on the map, and Falstad, as you can see, is still at the bot lane, trying to burst another wave down. He might actually not even fly in, depending on how things go over here. But an interrupt would be pretty sweet. Oh, it's too late. Arcane gets it. So from Virtus Pro's perspective, that was a bit of a mistake, because if they interrupt here 2 or 3 times, then Falstad with those 2 Siege Giants can actually like do enormous damage. He's very likely to end up taking down that fort as is, but here comes Danatan. He's not even going for Falstad, he just says like, okay, I have to depush this. But that's one of the reasons why it would have been pretty sweet for Virtus Pro if they could have interrupted the Tribute channel at least once. That didn't work. And now we have that fort nearly gone, but not quite. Neon is currently working at it, and at the same time we're seeing Sonya doing her thing and starting to go for the camps, and already spotted by the Owl, as we're having camp taken by the evil Murkies towards the left side as well. So the teams are aiming for a bit of control right now, and that early fort would have resulted in a level 7, by the way. Much earlier for Virtus Pro. So Neon not getting that fort because that Tribute wasn't interrupted is actually a bit of a deal right now. Because, well, this Tribute is going to end up in their hands, but they would have a very nice and very stable position in the game at this point. They still do, though. I mean, Power of Dream is already rotating in and saying, like, alright, buddy, I'm going to help you out for a moment because we need to, like, burst that down. And that's what they try to do. The rotation of the Evil Murkies is a bit too late. They didn't see that coming. So the fort is down. And at this point, we're having maybe even, the kill against Greymane. That's always a bit unfortunate. So Greymane is down. That was avoidable. Danatan getting caught in this case. That shouldn't really have happened. Remabola is trying to look at it, maybe even a second kill, but doesn't have a chance to lock anybody down in this case now. So besides that, we're having at the top lane a bit of pressure play. Tank actually going for Brightwing, but Sefka just still had the well up and went in immediately. But you can see that there's quite a bit of pressure against the top lane. And Virtus Pro, they have to be careful here, but they are ahead in experience and they are so far playing a pretty decent game. Rhaegar picked up Cleanse. None of the heroes on the side of the opponent did that. Brightwing, of course, can't really go for Cleanse since the Face Shield talent on level 7 is just too important to give that up. So oftentimes when you really need Cleanse, we see teams heading into different supports. You would never really go for a Brightwing if you felt that there is an urgent need for Cleanse, since it's just one of those talents that you can't afford. Blizzard changes on Karazhan, for example, allowed him finally to take Cleanse without giving up too much extra heal, so that works. Danatan again in a bit of trouble. Nice body block attempts here from Remabola and the Polymorph, and they get Greymane again. Well done. Really nice moves from Virtus Pro now, and Falstad is starting to fly in again with the next Tribute being channeled. Here comes Neon. Oh, the interrupt! Yes, the Storm from Leo is good, and now it's a 4 versus 5. You don't want to fight that, but Tyrande gets caught, and now they are down 2 heroes. So that will once again allow Virtus Pro to take a lead and also get the second Tribute. We are still far away from them getting a curse, 1 Tribute to be exact. But still, they are in a position where they will hit an earlier level 10, and they could start to translate that either into trying to get a boss, or they can just simply wait for the next Tribute and say, hey, we're going to fight this, put the curse on the opponent, push lanes, and if we get a chance, take that boss as well. The problem when we're talking boss on the side of Virtus Pro is that they always have to make sure that Tyrande does not spot them immediately. A little bit later is fine, but she's sending owls all over the map, and that is a bit of an issue. Archon has been taken for Tassadar. So yeah, Leo is saying, hey, screw the force wall, we have double support, we need a bit more damage here, I'm going into Archon. That's also helping his survivability, of course. But, well, here comes another attempt to go for Danatan. He's trying to escape, but Remabola is jumping in, and the Worgen about to fall, but the level 10 might have saved him here. Shadowstar from Arcane is making sure that he gets away. But that's, of course, one cooldown that they can't rely upon now. They're having another Tribute spawning on the map. And Virtus Pro, they have sacrificed one of their own cooldowns, by the way. They went straight into the Archon here on Tassadar, and Leo is in trouble, needs to go for the phase shift. They're still trying to get him. Here comes Neon with a mighty gust, starting to jump in. The damage against Danatan, but this time the Ancestral Healing is there, and he's trying to go in again. Good stun from Q on his, from Arcane on his Tyrande. The kill against Brightwing. But Falstad is not with the team. He's going straight for the Tribute. And wow, that owl was designed to kill someone. Could have potentially cancelled Neon's channel. That was, I guess that was a bit of a problem there on the side of Tyrande. A little bit too kill greedy there, not really paying attention to Falstad, who channeled the Tribute through and got the curse now for the Russian team. Virtus Pro, therefore, in a very, very solid situation where they can start to put additional damage onto the side of the Evil Murkies. And I mean, Neon already trying to make sure that he is getting all of those minions there. And that's good points also for his seasoned marksman. So another really important part of the play there as well. He's at 15 extra damage already, flying down into the mid lane as we're seeing a bit of a fight there. It's a 5 versus 3 in this case. The Mighty Gust already used. Arcane isolated. They're trying to go for the kill. They might get him, but still the fight is still raging on. Tyranda's about to fall, but she might actually escape. Power of Dream does not follow too much. So very nice moves here on the side of Arcane. With the stuns, he was able to hold his opponents off long enough for him to just get some distance between them. The mid fort, on the other hand, is now about to be taken down, and that puts Virtus Pro more or less into range of level 13. They need half a level and then have the extra talent. When it comes to the damage at this point, we're seeing 17k on Greymane. It's pretty far in most of these fights. The Natan is playing this quite aggressive. We're having at the same time now also pretty solid damage numbers on the side of the opponent. Boss attempt has been made, and the Owl is immediately there. Instead of trying to contest it, we're seeing Evil Murkies go for a tribute or for a boss on their own. Keep Falstad in mind. He has the Mighty Gust. He can start to fly in, and that's actually something that he's going to try and do. There's no cleanse. There's nothing. Falstad isn't here. He's not trying to go for it. It's a bit surprising. With Brightwing around, I feel they had a chance. I get the feeling they didn't want to risk losing Falstad. But in this case, they could have actually done it. The only hero that could have done something against this is Johanna with the Iron Skin. She's unstoppable when she uses it, so I feel like they were saying, hey, Mighty Gust is not going to do us any good here. If Johanna sees you coming, she's just going to use the Iron Skin in time and will channel that boss through anyway. So I suppose that's true. So for now we're having just like, again, them pushing the top lane. And an interesting adjustment also on Sonya, who went into the Spell Shield. So no Mystical Spear for her, but with the Spell Shield she's going to be much safer. It's going to be a bit easier for her to survive at the front line. Whereas we're seeing for the rest of the heroes pretty much a standard, especially of course Falstad with the auto attack build is going into Giant Killer, and that's going to make Johanna's life a bit harder. But the boss is already going through the wall at the keep. The difference in bosses is, by the way, mainly that we're having on the side of Evil Murkies a boss that had to go through the fort as well, not only through the keep. So that means that down here, while Brightwing could actually defend right here at the fort, was able to save that too, and Brightwing of course not really needed in those fights, can always just like simply jump in with the phase shift when she's really needed. So in this case that worked out quite nicely for Virtus Pro. We have them still one level ahead. They're playing a very, very solid game here, nothing too crazy. Tidal Waves taken on 13, the Unfettered Assault, a Spell Shield by the way also for Thrall, who has apparently mad respects for Falstad's Boomerang and also for like the Storm, Brightwing. I mean, there's a couple of talents that will dish out the ability power. Remmer Baller, oh yeah, that Storm one is a bit short, dude. So trying to get this one in, but that didn't really work. Doesn't have to though. They are still fighting for the tribute, and that wouldn't be a cursed tribute yet, but they still want it. And yeah, zoning out the opponent as much as they can. But Thrall is trying to sneak in from the side. He's actually starting to sneak in from behind. Here comes the Shadow Stalk. Where's the Sundering? He goes for it. Hits nobody. I think he's one hero. Brightwing, I feel, was affected. But that's about it. Yep, there comes the focus. Thrall is down. Well done. They were waiting for him to move in from the side. And now they are just like turning it around against the Evil Murkies. Good stuns again, but this time it's not enough. Arcane goes down as well. Q in his Rhaegar is attempting to at least heal Tic Tac. Gets the healing ward in place now as well. But this is of course getting a bit nasty here for the Evil Murkies. They're starting to lose structures again. And that level 16 talent is a huge risk. Remmer Ball on Power of Dream are very low though. But in the 5 versus 3 situation that we're seeing right now, they're not really willing to commit yet. Evil Murkies, that is. And once level 16 is hit, it means that they're, yeah, well, not only a talent behind, but also like 2 levels. So that's a huge time window that you all of a sudden have where you can start to do the damage. And that's going to be one of the main concerns that we are seeing for the Evil Murkies. The French team so far has played a pretty solid game, but when it comes to the kills, 5 versus 1, then you can really see that Virtus Pro is currently running the show. And they are going to aim for that second tribute at the top. And there's no way, there's absolutely no way for the French to channel this one through. It's just not going to happen. I mean, at this point, we're seeing Stone Form taken. We have also the Nerves of Steel, Hammer Time for the mini stun. And that actually allows Falstad in a one-on-one to basically one-shot everybody, especially later on when he has a bit more damage on his auto attacks thanks to the Seasoned Marksman. If you get a good hammer in, you get that mini stun, and then you just blast away, you can do so much work with those auto attacks. It is insane. At the bot lane, it looks like a fort is finally going to fall, and that's extra experience. That's a smart move to get a bit closer to the next talent. The problem is that this was an opportunity where Virtus.pro just said, well, thank you very much for that. We're going to go to the top lane and going to have some fun there. They won't be able, are they able? They shouldn't be able to take down that keep. Yeah, I don't like that they are overthinking this much, but Thrall isn't with the team yet either. Thrall seems to attempt to go... Nah. For a moment I was really thinking if Thrall on the minimap was aiming for a bit of a flank, but that would have been a very interesting approach. He instead got experience in the middle, and that gave them level 16. They didn't really want to force a fight without the extra talent. So right now they have Ranger on Tyrande, they're having an opposing presence on Johanna. They're having also, by the way, the Relentless Predator now taken. So, interestingly enough, he seems to really be in a spot where he says, hey, they have too much lockdown against me. When I jump in, I have a huge problem. So he goes for that more or less upgraded Relentless that they are seeing there. It's a pretty cool choice, to be honest with you. Reacting to what the opponent does, and I mean, that's what the talent system is all about. But let's see if it's actually going to work out for them. Can Danatano jump in the way he wants to? That polymorph was a huge problem. So was the Stormbolt. Now he has a chance to dodge that a little bit easier. So they're going in again for a potential kill. Danatano, on the other hand, is mighty gusted. He's very low. Here comes the healing. Ancestral is keeping him alive. Everybody else is starting to jump in once more, but Power of Dream has to retreat. He's extremely low. He's down. And that's a 5 versus 4, 5 versus 3. Suddenly the French team is going all out on them. Neon is about to drop as well. He was trying to fly away here, but that's the triple kill that they were waiting for. Danatan not locked down enough. Tank jumping in, texting them down. That was incredibly well done. Nice job by the Evil Murkies. I actually like this a lot. That was a really, really cool approach on the side of the Evil Murkies and really brought them back into the game. I mean, if you look at the experience, we're talking about nearly the same level, and this boss that is currently taken at the bot lane is going to do huge damage. I still think that this one is a... Yeah, well, Remabola and Leo were trying to go for a boss, but boys, that didn't work. So... that's going to be a second boss. They wasted a bit of time. I mean, nothing too crazy. You can't really do too much as long as the others are dead as is. But now the rotation to the top is coming. Someone has to defend here. And guys, I have bad news for Virtus.pro fans. Look at those tributes. It's 2 for 2, meaning the next tribute that spawns is going to curse one of the teams. And let's just face it for a moment. If that second boss is taken as well, then that tribute is going to end up in the hands of the Evil Murkies because someone has to defend. Brightwing is the only one who's at the bottom. Over here, we have a 5 versus 4 though. Why don't they fight? Brightwing is jumping in. Alright, so now they retreat. They can still move away, but that boss is going for keep now. The boss at the bot then is going to go for keep, so as long as they escape here, it's going to be all good for them. Here comes the flying with false, that mighty gust, not used. Danatan jumps away, tribute is spawning. Boss at the bot lane still doing his thing. Polymorph tank, is that Ancestral? No, 1 second before the Ancestral is ready, and he dies. Oh god, that was unfortunate timing for the Evil Murkies. Look at Virtus.pro, oh my god, like these guys, that was bloodlust right there. They were jumping in and now they're going to get the kill or the curse against the Evil Murkies. But look at that bot lane. Yeah, that might just save that keep. It might just save the keep, to be honest with you. It might not. Because that boss is hitting hard. Yeah, that boss is going to eliminate that keep. They are trying to time the curse, by the way. They're trying to time that curse. Danatan is there. It's a 3 versus 5. And tempting to interrupt that, but that's not going to happen. That curse plus boss is going to go through the top lane like it's nothing. And that means the defense is all that the Evil Murkies can think about right now. They really have to try and make sure that, well, the keep is falling. I mean, let's not kid ourselves here. The keep is going to fall. So you can push for core, and that's something that they might actually do. They might push for the core here, because if they don't want to go for the core, then they really have to just simply move into the mid lane. But they don't have level 20 yet. There's actually like no level 20 talent yet for them, and they have no massive advantage in talents or anything. So let's see. We have, okay, stun already here. We're having, of course, also that Mighty Gust available, which is a huge deal. But a few of those rogue abilities are still in cooldown. Once again, here comes the attempt to just snipe one of them. If Neon, for example, is down, he had to use the Mighty Gust already. That's a bit of an issue. Nice double root from the boss against 2 heroes. Oh my god, that might just have decided the game. With Tyrande getting rooted and sniped, that might have decided the game. Tic Tac is trying to get away. He's in plain sight, but the boss is now already on the core. And guys, without Tyrande in a 4 versus 5, I don't think they can really make this defense happen. That root hitting 2 just decided the game. It was a very difficult defense as is, but with Tyrande falling to the boss and the burst, this is just a no-brainer. Well done here, GG, and Virtus.pro takes the 1-0 lead in the best of 3 series. Game number 2, everybody, is going to happen on Infernal Shrines. Our second map between Virtus.pro and Evil Murkies, and we are this time with the lead for Virtus.pro, also seeing them with the first pick, first ban. The last time, they actually decided to go into early Zul, especially with Sevgaja playing the hero a lot, and Zul on this map is very strong. In the previous game, Evil Murkies didn't really care too much about him. They didn't even pick him. I could see Falstad being banned out by Virtus.pro, so they're not going to ban out Zul. At least I don't see it happening, because they are probably going to say, wow, really? That is shocking me, because so far they've always played with Zul whenever they got the chance, and I would have bet money on the fact that they don't ban him but try to get him as a first pick. That doesn't happen, so maybe they have their eyes more on Falstad, who's about to be banned out by Evil Murkies. Both of the heroes are incredibly strong on Infernal Shrines. Evil Murkies have shown in previous games, though, that they don't really like Liming too much. Virtus.pro actually also banning out Liming a couple of times throughout the day here already. But if the Evil Murkies go for a Liming ban, then Virtus.pro is going to potentially lock down that Falstad. It would be a very nice first pick for them. We've seen European teams go into that Zagara still. Usually not as a first pick, but a bit later. But wow, Virtus.pro, they really love their Sonya play, don't they? And Sonya actually made some really nice plays in the previous games. But now we have the Evil Murkies with a very CP. So that's really something. I mean, we have seen a lot of teams also when we were at Katowice for the regional finals. We've seen a lot of teams going into early Sonya, sometimes even Sonya bans. But this is a very huge priority right now on the Sonya pick over the potential Falstad on this map. And of course, we could have seen a couple of other heroes there as well. The Evil Murkies in the last game with Greymane, played by Tanatan, had a really nice impact, especially in the later stage of the game. At the beginning, maybe going a little bit too much ham and dying twice against rotations from Virtus.pro. That, of course, set them behind it a bit. But after level 16 in particular, when he finally had access to his so-called, his relentless version, so to say, that helped against that Brightwing and Muradin lockdown. Falstad on this map is great. I love the boomerang build here. If you go for the gathering power build, first of all, of course, in like fights, you can still get a lot of damage in against your opponent, but also if you go for the power throw as well, you can every single shrine fight, maybe with the exception of the top because there's not really an escape path, you can just like sit to the side a little bit and can just like throw in your hammers and make sure that you get the minion damage in. And that's incredibly powerful, especially in the later stages of the game. And you stay very safe with it. You have an opportunity to use Mighty Gust if need be, if the rest of the team is being attacked. So Falstad on this map can be very strong, and of course his global presence is always a huge bonus. Virtus.pro go for a very high focus on Sonya here already. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a Muradin again, but they locked down that Tassadar like that. So Tassadar for the shields, Muradin already there. That could result in the Murkies banning out Tyrande, unless, of course, they are thinking about picking Tyrande themselves. But for Virtus.pro, that would be a very nice combo. Tassadar Tyrande is very strong. And also, if you have a Muradin and a Sonya in your setup already, you can just like go from stun into stun and really try to get that burst in. Cool thing about Tassadar is that you can still play him solo. It's one of those heroes that we don't see played solo as often as before anymore, but he is still a very solid solo support that can be played, especially if the rest of your heroes have self-sustain. And let's face it, Muradin has a lot of self-sustain, so does Sonya, and she goes for her level 7. The Murkies actually banning out a Charism. We have seen all kinds of combinations with Tassadar. We've seen Tassadar Tyrande, we've seen Tassadar Brightwing, we've seen Tassadar, we've even seen Tassadar Uther in an A. So right now, the option of Tassadar Charism was already taken away. Not really sure if that was the biggest concern. Virtus.pro goes into a very standard ban now for now though, the ETC. Already locked away, and that would most likely result in the Murkies going for Johanna again. And I mean, Johanna at this point would be very strong also to push out the lanes and go for the camps. Of course, Night takes Pawn, as I mentioned several times in the past, doesn't really do the extra damage anymore against the minions on the shrines, but she's still very good when it comes to like pushing out lanes and getting that wave clear in. So that makes her maybe not as strong as she was before for the objective fight, but everything else she's still doing like she always has, pretty much perfectly. So Virtus.pro. Okay, apparently I have a new sound in there. Reinhard, thank you very much for that. Something shifted, like we have Brightwing sounds apparently in here now as well. So dude, thank you very much for the support. Actually, I think that was that was Patreon. That was not even like a donation, that was Patreon, I feel. Cool, thanks dude. That's why we have the friend sound in. It was for a moment I was surprised. I wanted to change that donation sound for a long time now, but I always forget after the cast. That shocked me. But yeah, Virtus Pro, they could go again in, like, they played as range damage Lunara quite often. But if you're playing on this map, you could, for example, also consider Vala with that hybrid build. She still has the range on the multi-shot that can deliver the last few hit point shots against the minions. But, as I said, they like to play Lunara. So there she is, Lunara being played for them. And now the question, double support, yes or no? If you go into a double support, Tyrande would still work with this. You can even go into Brightwing. Brightwing would be an anti-Greymane play. And yes, it seems to be like this is what they are going to try and go for again. And yeah, there we have it. So Brightwing once again played. Also has, of course, a bit of AoE that she brings to the table. And she's going to look for friends in that game. Evil Murkies then again. Rhaegar already has a solid support. This time they don't have to pick Tyrande away. Last time they were a little bit worried about what's going to happen if Virtus Pro locks down a Tyrande. In this case they could still go into the double support, but there we have it. Thrall is being chosen again. So they have a bit more of a more aggressive setup now, even than they did in the last game. They have now false set as well for the extra damage, especially against the single targets like Muradin. It would be great, but I still expect that it's going to be a Gathering Storm build on this map because it just caters towards the objective too. Evil Murkies, they need to win this if they want to force a third map. If not, then Virtus Pro is going to take the 2-0 victory and will advance to the round of 16. We're currently still in the round of 32. So guys, let's jump in. Infernal Shrines is the map, and let's find out which team is going to take it. Game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. And, well, the overlay, don't pay attention to that too closely. We're going to update that in a moment. That's not 100% correct. We have, of course, towards the left side of the map right now, it's not the Evil Murkies. It is actually Virtus Pro instead. And they're also in the lead. So now as we have that updated, we are seeing Sefkajan on Brightwing again. We have Power of Dream on Sonya. We see Leo from Korea on Tacita. Rimmerballer on Muradin. We are having Neon on Lunara. And to the right side of the map in red, it is time for the French team with Q on Rhaegar. We have Tank for the win on Thrall, Tic-Tac on Johanna, Arcane on Falstad, and Danatan again on Greymane. And once again, he has to deal with Muradin and his stuns. He has to deal with Brightwing and the Polymorph. Is going to be quite annoying for him. But both of the teams have an even more aggressive setup than they did in the last game. And by the way, Falstad is indeed going into the auto attack build again. That's great against Muradin. There's a lot of frontliners actually. Well, there's two frontliners. There's Sonya and there's Muradin. So there's quite a few targets that Arcane can hit with this. But on this map, I could have definitely seen the Gathering Storm build as well, because it's very powerful here if you stand behind those shrines when they're active and you try to just like poke a bit in. Only difference is again the top shrine, because there's not really too many escape paths. All the other shrines are very open, so you can approach them from any angle, and that makes it of course a bit easier. Just escape, but also of course to ambush your opponent and move in. Besides that, we're having on level 1 again also the Colossal Totem taken. We are seeing in this case Wolfheart once more on the side of Greymane. And Greymane is definitely going to be once again one of those heroes that we have to watch out for a little bit. In the last game he had towards the middle and the late game a very huge impact on the team fights. But by now we also have Thrall, Greymane, plus in the back then that damage from Falstad. So basically what happened in this game is that the French team said, hey, listen, we're going to switch Tyrande for Falstad. And that gives them more damage, a little bit less sustain of course, but they are very, very scary. And even if Greymane goes into the wolf form, they will always have someone at the front, in the back, and they can do a bit of extra damage. They attempt to go for Brightwing. I like that attack. Nice. Really well played. Great coordination between Falstad and between Thrall. Flying in here. Brightwing couldn't see that, of course, and then the perfect timing for the lockdown and the kill against Brightwing, who never saw that coming. Very well done here by the Evil Murkies. So I liked it quite a lot. They have now also an early level 4 thanks to that, and up at the top lane we are seeing them with the first few shots against the minions. On level 4 it's now, of course, again the Chain Lightning build completed for Tank. I doubt that he's going to go into the level 16. Sometimes we see the Fog Lightning there, but more often than not, it's the Wind Fury hits that you really want to get against your opponent. And we could in this setup actually also see him with a Giant Killer on level 13, so that you get the triple Wind Fury hits after you get the level 16 talent again with the Giant Killer against any kind of target. But both of the teams are starting to fight for the Punisher. Brightwing is at the bot lane though, is currently trying to get some extra experience, and so far we're seeing the Russian team really getting a bit closer when it comes to the minion count. 14 versus 14 at this point, and in a 4 versus 5 situation that isn't too shabby, but Danatan is pushing the lane out now too, and they are still ahead in experience. He can't jump in right now. Leo is getting a little bit low, and finally Brightwing making the way over here. as Power of Dream is also getting zoned, and the entire shrine is now under the control of the evil Murkies. They have the Laws of Hope on Johanna, try to reposition themselves here to save the backline, as we are seeing Virtus.pro approach, and they are going deep. They want to go for the kill. Tank has to be careful here, it's already quite low. Q has a lot of problems healing everybody up, but as the wells are still off cooldown, they can just move in and heal before they approach the shrine again. 3 more minions is all that they need, but there's only 6 that the opponent needs. So there's 1 more, and it's going to be the blue team. Unbelievable. We are seeing Virtus.pro steal that away. That was a bit sloppy, to be honest with you, from the evil Murkies. They should have actually got this one. A few of the heroes started to attack enemy heroes instead of just trying to snipe 1 or 2 of the minions, and that would have left them with a Punisher. But the objective goes to their opponent, and now there's a pretty big push happening up at the top. The first Punisher usually not too strong, but this one is actually doing some solid work. Not only is the wall gone, they get the extra tower as well. A bit more than most teams would get with this. At the same time, we had Greymane in the mid lane, putting a bit of pressure on Sefkash's Brightwing, because the first thing that happened after the Punisher was taken, even before that, we've seen heroes rotate away to soak lanes on, or experience on the lanes. So that worked for the evil Murkies. They're still at the same amount of EXP, even slightly ahead actually. Sefkasha was the only one who started to move down, and that resulted in him not really getting too much experience done here. But level 7 versus 7, and let's just say at the top lane, at least that fort is now a bit exposed, which can be, of course, a bit of a problem later on. But for now, it's all good. So we're having on level 7 now for both of the teams pre-standard talents again. We're seeing not too many adjustments. The one that I want to point out though is that we have battle momentum for Johanna, so no conviction, and instead just going for the cooldown reduction also for the heroic ability. The teams are starting to take camps on the map, especially Virtus.pro is trying to gain some map control by doing this. And we're having Muradin also with the piercing bolt. Noteworthy because a lot of Muradin players these days actually decided to go into battle momentum instead, since it of course also reduces the cooldown on your heroic ability even more. Playmaker is used quite often, but even for Avatar it's a great choice. Again, the fly in, Arcane is there, Tank whiffers this one though, and in this case Danatan is making sure that they get the kill. So they rotate with everyone up against Bambi and take him down. So Lunara is dead. And down to the bottom of the map, we're currently seeing TikTok soaking experience for his team. And yeah, if you were a little bit confused by the last one, I recently learned that Bambi was a guy. Couldn't believe it. Like, I googled it, and all the pictures that I saw were very, very feminine. But apparently, Bambi was really a guy and not a girl. That kind of blew my mind. And yeah, one of those things that you never really consider. At least I didn't. So yeah, shocked me. Ruined my childhood a little bit. But well, for now we're having still, in this case, the Shrine active. This is the second one. And Bambi is coming in again. Neon on Lunara with the attempt to get a few additional of those minions. Now we have, by the way, Wild Digger taken and the Cruel Spore. So no Nature's Culling here on level 7, which is extremely popular in NA, but also a bit more common now in Europe. Power of Dream trying to get that kill against that healing ward. That didn't work. Now Fawcett is flying in to join the fun, but we have a very solid lead in minion stacks on the side of the blue team. The kill against Brightwing could change that though, but they're still trying to just like poke a bit with the range to get the last few minions that they need. But we have good zoning happening on the part of Team Evil Murkies as well. And it looks very much like they are going to end up getting this Punisher. Brightwing can of course portal in, but it's a bit too late. Heroic abilities are ready now as well, and nobody wants to commit far enough in to allow, well, for example, Thrall to get a Sundering in, or even just that go for the throat on the side of Danatan is always a huge risk. So we want to make sure that that doesn't happen. Both of the teams now again trying to soak lanes, but at the bot lane they're going to have a really neat push happening with that Arcane Punisher doing solid work here. And that fort is most likely going to fall. Arcane Punishers might not be as strong as they were once, but still, like, they are doing solid work as you can see here. So yep, this fort is going to fall. And at the same time, Muradin was trying to zone a bit, but to the top lane you can still at least one hero that is trying to get some experience. Arcane moving in immediately. And on his false side, he has by now 16 extra stacks on the Seasoned Marksman, so his auto attacks are going to hit pretty hard. We're having in heroic abilities, again, Blink Heal taken, Wrath of the Berserker. This time, by the way, no Archon, which was chosen earlier, but instead it's the Force Wall on Tacita. So they weren't really too worried about the extra damage, especially since they're running Lunara here. And Kamsai again claimed. Wisp is already on his way, trying to get the vision here. Yeah, isolation against TikTok. Johanna needs to be careful. Ancestral Healing is saving her. Danatan jumps out, but Johanna is still in trouble. Tank not committing to anything yet. He already is on cooldown on the Sundering, so didn't get a chance to go for this, and the camp is stolen away. Solid moves by Virtus.pro, but they are still behind in the game when it comes to experience. We have them trying to mitigate that though by pushing down the towers in the mid lane and getting some extra experience for the team here. Falset at the top lane has still been doing his thing in the entire time. Brightwing had to move in with the rest of the team, but Leo is there in time to just soak the experience. And this is one of the things that you actually see these guys do. Every single time they leave a lane, they just keep close tabs on it, and once that we have the minions moving in, normally one of the heroes rotates away if there is a chance to do that, and make sure that they at least get that experience for the rest of the wave, so that they don't fall behind too far. But that's really the power of rotations here. If you time those properly, you're not going to lose too much lane experience, and you're still going to have a very strong presence with 3 or 4 heroes just always being together. Level 13 for now for the Evil Murkies brings us again into the tidal waves. We're having also Thrall playing this once more safe with his level 13 talent going into the spell shield here. Plus, also, a bit more on the prowl after Wolf has now been taken. And we are seeing, of course, that giant killer. And now Muradin is really going to feel the wrath of Falstad. Falstad with 22 extra damage already, thanks to Seasoned Marksman. Giant killer is going to increase that. At the bot lane, again the pressure. Sefkaja and his boys, they're trying to make sure that they get level 13, but we have another shrine on the map. And there's very little that they can do without the extra talent, so they're saying, guys, we need to do something. Let's go down and try to burst that fort away, because they know they're not going to win the Punisher. We have the Evil Murkies in a very solid position here, making sure that they control this one as well. Now the rotation in, but it's already too late. Yep, Frozen Punisher is taken. Level 13 versus 13 for the defense now at least. And of course, Remaball is going to wait behind the gate to bait the Punisher in so that he can burst it down a little bit faster. But Punisher takes a long time. One tower already down. Gate also about to be destroyed. It helps to have also the unfair advantage, but Nature's Cunning is actually taken on this map quite a lot because it helps you to burst down these Punishers. And in this case, it's the Wild Vigor that they went for. Once again, a standard talent for Virtus.pro here. Punisher jumps in again. The fort is already gone. Tic-tac, low, gets healed. Ancestral is in. Neon isolated. And here's the Sundering. This is the end of Lunara. Well played here. First the isolation with the Mighty Gust, and then even committing to the Sundering to get that kill in. But they were able to turn it into 4 versus 5. And once again, the Evil Murkies in the lead. They're on the lead here with roughly a level, and we have Falstad soaking even more experience on the map. It's a pretty big map, and Falstad is just a king here. Of course, when we're talking Cursed Hollow, then he's a god with wings, but on this map he's also incredibly powerful because he can just always fly to any particular position. It's a big map, and his global presence is just so important. Now they're going in again, they're trying to take the camp. Brightwing jumped away, it's 3 heroes versus 4, but we have now Muradin and also Thrall moving in with a kill against Sefkaja. Well played, they snipe him and they go for Power of Dream. Now they're trying to get Cassada too, and that might actually even happen. Yeah, Leo shields himself. Here comes the Mighty Gust. Well, it slows him down, but it nearly saved him, to be honest. Arcane was very, very low. Greymin at least killed. Down here we have Muradin jumping away, so he's the only one trying to escape at this point. Falstad had to fly away here. That poison nearly killed him. He will go back to the Nexus. They have the level 16 talent right now though, and we have 7 kills against 1, so a very solid show by the Evil Murkies. And a pretty different game from what we've seen in the first one. Here we have now the Relentless Predator taken again. And that was really the moment when in the last game the Evil Murkies were starting to get back into the game when Cursed Hollow was the map against Virtus.pro. But right now they're even ahead. So this is going to make the advantage even stronger for them. They're seeing also Tempest Fury with those 3 strikes that you have now. Very solid damage and the imposing presence. When it comes to the damage output, on the other hand, you can really see that Thrall is currently with 22,000 in a very good spot. Greymin on 21,000 hero damage is also doing solid work. Falstad is getting a bit closer now that he has his 28 Seasoned Marksman stacks, so it's really starting to hurt. And at the same time, once more, of course, Lunara. I mean, she is just extremely powerful, and even though she wasn't really able to participate in the team fights too much, there was always pressure against Virtus.pro. She had to move back early. We're still seeing them here with very, very good damage output on her side. But another fort is eliminated. Shrine is active again. There's finally the level 16 talent for Team Virtus.pro, and they are attempting to move in now. We're seeing Nerves of Steel taken. Here comes once again Power of Dream. The attack speed has been taken. So you're invigorating Spores now. And locked down against Power of Dream, who got a bit ahead of himself here. It's locked down again with the Sundering, but here comes Muradin with a double Storm Bolt and the stun, and Donatan gets healed just in time. Mighty Gust now used 2. Ramaballer jumped over it though, and Brightwing is now going in as well for the shield. Here comes that Storm Bolt against Johanna. She uses the Iron Skin. Tassadar had to move away, but thanks to the Dimensional Warp, he gets some of his hit points back, and now the teams can still aim for the Punisher. And this is actually a chance. This is a chance for Virtus.pro. This is actually one of those moments where they can make a few plays. And you can already tell that we are seeing Evil Murkies retreat. They have too many cooldowns in position. I think that's their main problem. Ancestral is going to be on cooldown for another minute. We're seeing Sundering for another 30 seconds on cooldown. They still try to engage here, but besides the Avatar, everything's off cooldown right now. Wrath of the Berserker in another second is going to be ready once again, and Power of Dream is definitely going to use it. There we go. Wrath of the Berserker activated, but Ramaballer and Sefkaja are both incredibly low as is. Once more, Tassadar is being jumped here. Danatan is also in a bit of trouble. Sonya is falling though, and this could be it. The Evil Murkies, they are going full force out here. They're taking down, Neons, Lunara, and, well, maybe, Falstad at least dies. It's a counter kill. But the problem is that Sefkaja is incredibly low. He was actually about to fall. Now has to go back to base, but he can, of course, go in again. 26 versus 10 minion stacks. We're 14 minutes in, and both of the teams are aiming for the next Punisher here. They're trying to go for it. Ramaballer is already back, and Sefkaja is here with him. They're going for that lockdown again, and here comes the Sundering against Brightwing. They're trying to go in. Where's the blink kill? There we have it. Leo is moving away too, but that means that Ramaballer is very much alone without the support of his 2 backliners there. There's no much damage. 33 against 28. They could actually get the Punisher at least. They're trying to go for Thrall. Tank is low, gets stunned, but they can't finish him off. Ramaballer is deep in. 37, 38. Thrall is dead. Ramaballer gets her shield. Sefkaja blink heals away. 3 versus 4. They made it happen. The Force Wall. The Punisher is still there. Where's that Storm Ball? Jumps in. Oh my god, John Cena is going for it. Tic Tac, on the other hand, is getting body blocked by Ramaballer. Falstad flying back. Mighty Gust not changing anything. Johanna down. What a play by Virtus.pro. A 3 versus 4 situation. The double support plus Muradin, and the Dwarf takes them all. They kill Thrall, they take Johanna, and they get the Punisher. What a play here by Virtus.pro, and they are now reaping what they saw. They are moving in to take their keeper, at least trying to go for it. Solid play thus far, but can they finish the keep off as well? The Punisher is already getting low, but 2 heroes are still dead. Thrall is coming back though, 4 seconds also on the Sundering, 1 second on the Mighty Gust. They could save it. If they Gust, then yes they do. The keep is very low, but it's not down yet. They need to poke a little bit. Here comes the Sundering, but that didn't do anything. And that's the kill. Once more they can move away. Solid work here. The entire time Virtus.pro was behind. Now they are ahead in experience, and they got the keep as well. Really well played here. Great plays on the side of Virtus.pro. 4 kills against 9, but those were the kills that really counted. They are not in a... I mean, this is still anybody's game to take, but the situation for Virtus.pro is much, much better now. Once again, we have camps taken on the map. I mean, this is all about positioning right now. This is about engages. Do you get a good flank against your opponent? Can you maybe isolate a target somewhere on the map? At this point, we're having them just trying to push these lanes back as much as they can so that they have more vision, of course, about especially the middle, about the shrines once they get active again. And that level 20 is a big, big deal right now. If they take a level 20, that is going to help them. Keep in mind what I said earlier, though. Falstad on this map is strong, and once he has his epic mount, he is just going to increase exactly that. So that's going to be pretty awesome too. And he can use the mobility to fly around, take waves, and push the lanes back. Take maybe like a camp somewhere. For now we have in terms of damage, Lunaro with 44k, 45,000 for Greymane though. He's starting to really be the most important hero on the side of the opponent. Now one of the characters is already dropping out here. He's too excited. He can't stand it anymore. He had to leave. If he doesn't, then he might actually get a bit of a heart attack here, and I don't blame him. But the level 20 is there. Maybe the French caster can recover, but for now it doesn't really look like it. We're still seeing a double Storm Shield, double Hardened Shield, and we have also in this case, after Thornwood Mines, now the Forest Wrath. And Wrath there. The Frenchie is coming back right now, trying to see if his boys can maybe turn this around. He knows, of course, that if they lose now, they are out of the tournament, out of the qualifier. There's no loser bracket. They are down one map as is, but for now only the wall is falling. Level 20 versus 19, 20 talents coming in. Next shrine is active, and here they are, indestructible, epic mount, Hunter's blunderbuss. We're seeing also once more the Bolt of the Storm, and this is the fight that really counts. This is the 20. Who is going to take it? This is potentially game ending. If you take your opponent's team out and you get the Punisher, there's a good chance that you can just simply go for the core at this point, and both of the teams are very, very aware of that. Already position taken here. Remaball is trying to zone at the bottom. At the same time, Sonya is whirlwinding up at the top. Tic Tac moves in with a Condemn. Mighty Gust already used as things are starting to get a bit dicey for the French team. Here comes again. Nice force wall. And then lockdown. They go for the Natan, but once more the heals from Rhaegar. Just too good. Neon gets shielded. They went deep. Arcane needs to use his epic mount to jump away. He already had cooldown used on his dwarf toss. No, the other thing. Oh, the gap closed, the barrel roll. Arcane is still alive. How on earth is he alive? That fight is insane. Danatan is stormbolted. He is just barely getting away. The level 16 talent keeps him alive. But there comes the kill against Johanna. What a fight. First we see Neon just barely get away there. The barrel roll by Arcane is trying to chase him down. Then he has to epic mount away as everybody is focusing on him. Is barrel rolling away as Sonya follows it up. But the kill in the end is for Team Virtus.pro as they take down Sonya. Already Greymane had to be saved by the Ancestral Healing. And this is definitely going to be the mid lane. They are starting to go straight into the middle, and that is a strong Punisher. Pre-level 20, pre-20 minutes, but still that bad boy is going to do some serious work. One hero down, it's the tank. Here comes the Punisher jumping in, trying to get the kill. We're having everybody trying to snipe maybe a hero. They want to finish the game. They want to finish it now. This is the chance that they have. 20 versus 20, but it's looking good for Virtus.pro. The Punisher is going straight into the middle. They go for Arcane, and down goes. The bird is dead. The bird is dead, and Tank is also isolated. He's trying to keep himself alive. The Sun Ring doesn't even go through, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be game. Virtus.pro, they turn it around. They take it with a 2-0 victory. Well done here. They take down the Evil Murkies and advance to the round of 16 at the Summer Qualifier number 2. Congratulations. Well played. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is GG and the end of another series here on Khaldor TV with Heroes of the Storm. So once again, we have another video finished, and I hope that you enjoyed the commentary and that you liked the game, of course, as well. It was a pleasure casting the match for you. And if you guys really enjoyed it, then make sure that you give that video a thumbs up on YouTube. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, feel free to do that too. If you have friends that are interested in Heroes of the Sports esports scene, then definitely recommend the channel to them, or just show them the video if they want to see like a bit how the pros are drafting here, especially of course when it comes to the North American scene, European scene. And I mean, these days we even have a couple of Chinese games on the channel here, so I hope that you enjoy that as well. That being said, thank you very much for watching again. I'm going to see you guys next time with more Heroes of the Storm content here on the channel. Have a great day and enjoy your week, and see you soon. Bye bye.